So Iona, I want to turn to you as the person who is dealing with sellers all the time. When they sign up with A2X and then they are looking to get organized, what is the biggest misconception they have?
Probably exactly that. They don't have full understanding of what makes up that settlement deposit. Um, they don't have clarity on their full income, expenses. They don't have a good understanding of the inventory side, and therefore they don't know what's being reimbursed and what's not. At the end of each period, that's the biggest part of knowing, how you're doing with Amazon, is knowing how much stock you have and where it is and how well it's tracking. And so A2X gives them that information, at the click of a button at the end of each month. The other thing that's super important is the reserves. So a lot of sellers don't really have a grasp on Amazon withholding some of their funds. They also don't sort of see the reserve as being withheld after the whole settlement has been produced. And so therefore, often we find sellers haven't been accounting for this receivable amount of money, and so they don't realize at times that Amazon has got all of this money being held, until they release it. And so, yeah, there's that as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, you make a very good point. I mean, they are in the greatest business, right? First of all, you have to advertise in order to make a sale. And when you eventually make the sale, you have to pay 15%. And you have to pay, in addition, you have to pay them to do the fulfillment. Okay, these are all value. They're delivering value. But when it's all said and done and you make those few sales, at the end of the 2-week period, they turn around and say, you know what? We owe you $100, but we're going to send you 30. We're going to hold on to the other 70. So it's the best business. So, but why is this important to know is because if you just take that $30 that came into your account and say, okay, this is what my sales are, you will have no idea because it has expenses in it, it has the reserve in it, and reserve being the money that they are holding on to. And so, Ellen, tell us, why do they hold on to this reserve? What's the purpose of it?
The reserve for holding on, it's kind of like a bond, isn't it? Until they kind of prove themselves as sellers. Is that what you would say, Iona?
Yeah, so it's sort of like a security. It could be initially as the seller starts out so that Amazon can get confidence in the actual seller, or maybe there's a situation where a seller has a really large number of sales really quickly, and so Amazon will then withhold a portion of that just in case there's some sort of return issue later on. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm in several groups, and recently there is a conversation going on about increased return rates. So, especially in clothing category, I'm hearing return rates as high as 30+%. So it's a big deal. And of course, if you're buying something that needs to be tried on, you don't know which one is going to fit you best. So you buy multiple sizes, and then the ones that don't fit best, you return it. So I guess these are natural, but at the end of the day, they look at the seller and they say, okay, they made so many sales, but we don't know how much of it is going to come back. And by the time they come back, if we pay them everything and there is no money, being small business, to recover it, they don't want to be exposed. So that's why they hold on to this reserve.